Hi, I'm Troy, and welcome back to another on-the-road video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. Stop. Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for proper voltage. Hello, today we're looking at the Whirlpool side-by-side refrigerator. The components we're looking at replacing today are the overload and relay and the start capacitor for the compressor. They're located in the back of the unit. Possible customer complaints could be no cool in the refrigerator and freezer, would be no cool in the freezer section. Could also get a complaint of hearing a clicking noise, and also that we have no fans, meaning that the condenser fan motor is not coming on in the back. So what we're going to do to begin the repair is unplug the unit, pull the unit out, turn it around, and remove the back cover from the back of the unit. Just a note for you, when you're moving the unit, make sure that you have something on the floor, especially if you have linoleum floor or wood flooring, because when you're rolling this out, if the wheels have dirt on them, food debris, or are just on a wood floor, when you pull the unit out, you can leave score marks or marks on the floor. So I use slides. I'm today on a concrete floor, so I'm not going to use them, but just for your own reference. Tools needed to complete this repair is a 1/4-inch nut driver and potentially a flat blade screwdriver. So now I have the refrigerator turned around, pulled out is where you would have it, but I've got it turned around for sake of videoing what we're doing here. Something for you to take notice of is we have a water line here. You may or may not have had water connected depending on how you have it set up. But when you're pulling the unit out, to turn all the way around, you may have to remove the line, or you may have just pulled it out far enough to get to the back of the unit. So I've got mine turned around. What we're gonna go ahead and do is remove the back cover. What we have on this one are 1/4-inch screws holding it in place all the way around. And this one technically should have this cardboard tucked up under this lip. Whoever did the last repair on it did not tuck it back in place. So when we reinstall this, we'll put it back where it goes. And you also have one more that's here for the water line. So we're gonna remove the screws, they're all 1/4-inch, so we can then remove this cover. So now we've got the screws removed. This cover is just going to come right off and slide right away. So we can have that removed. Now we have full access to the back of the unit. We have access to the compressor, the starting components, the fan, the fill valve. Everything that we may need to be able to replace is pretty much accessible right from here. Now we have access to the internal components of the refrigerator. So now that we have access to the compressor and your starting components, we're going to go ahead and remove them. If you haven't tested already or you need to test still, what you're going to want to do is check for 120 volts coming into the compressor at the plug going in. So you're going to check for that. If you have 120 going down, you're going to want to test and check the windings on your compressor. Make sure it's not shorted to ground. You can also do a amp draw test to see if you're pulling high or low or no amps. So then you'll be able to replace the proper part. So in some situations when the unit is plugged in, you may hear it clicking. It may make a click noise and wait, and a few minutes later make another click noise and then wait. That is indicative of your overload and your relay basically overloading and tripping off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace those parts. I'm not gonna do any testing or diagnosing from here, but to access and remove the components, we're gonna remove a couple things. We're gonna remove this ground wire so it's out of our way. Once we have the ground wire removed, you'll notice this clip, it goes from here, wraps down and around, and hooks back down on the bottom. We need to remove that as well. To do so, you're going to push in at this side, and when you push in, it will release the hook. Once it's released, it'll basically fall off for you. You may have to finagle a little bit because the hook at the bottom might catch. Pull it out, set it aside. Now we're going to remove the starting components. They're basically held on by your common run and start windings of the compressor, the pins coming out. So we're going to go ahead and remove the whole setup. Once it comes off, we can pull it out. Now we can go ahead and unplug the compressor. It's got 2 wires or 2 ports. This has 3 wires going to it. One of these wires is running back over to your condenser fan motor. So we're going to go ahead and unplug it. Now we're free. What we have here is we have our overload and relay, and the black part is our capacitor and our capacitor. So what we're going to go ahead and do is replace both these parts at this point in time. So now we have our new overload and relay and our new capacitor in hand. We're going to go ahead and reinstall the capacitor onto the overload and relay. You have your 2 ports where your 2 male clips go in. You've also got a guide that goes onto this prong that sticks off here. So we're going to go ahead and start it on our guide. Once that's in place, it sets into the overload relay. We're going to push those back in together to make sure they're now essentially one piece. At this point, we're going to go ahead and plug it back in. Again, the plug is keyed. It's got one flat side that is going to go onto the overload and relay, and it's not going on. So then you turn it around to make sure it's going to go in there right. It only goes in one way. Once you've got it back in position, we're going to reinstall this onto the compressor. You will see you have 3 holes making a triangle. It's going to go on to the compressor one way basically. It's not going to fit on there properly going sideways. You're going to put it back on. So you're going to match up your holes. Once you're matched up, secure it back onto the unit. It's now back onto the compressor in the right position. We can go ahead and reinstall our retaining clip. You're going to take and put it behind the wires, basically where it came off from before. Reach back in, hook it back on the bottom of the compressor. Once it's back on the bottom, pull it up and clip it back in place. Now it's back on. The last thing we have to put back on here is our ground wire. Clip our ground wire back on. With that back in place, we can now go ahead, if you choose to test it at this point, go ahead and plug the unit in. Make sure your compressor kicks on and starts. And then at that point, you're going to go ahead and replace the back cover. So now that we've installed our new components, we're going to go ahead and put the back cover back in place. This cover, you can tell, has screw holes along the bottom to screw into the bottom of the unit. It's got this lip up at the top, which is where this part slides into. So we're going to position that inside that lip. Once it is inside the lip, we can set this back in place. First, I'm going to reposition the hoses. Slid back in place. You can use the bottom screw holes to match up the approximate location of it. And see where you're at. I'll go ahead and just by hand typically position one in place. so that it holds one side up. I'll come back across to the other side, make sure I stay tucked into my lip at the top. Start a second one. Once they are in position, now we can go ahead and reattach the rest of the screws to hold the unit in place. A side note, or just a note for you, when you're screwing these side ones in, you want to make sure you got your torque turned down and you don't want to tighten them too far because these will rip very easily. I'm going to attach the final screws for the bottom. Install the screw on the far side. Now that we have those in place, we still have to reattach our water line back to where it goes. Take our water line, put it down in approximate position with the screw going through, and tighten that one back into position. Once we got that back on, the water line back in place, we can reattach our water line, plug the unit back in, and that will complete your repair. Thank you for watching another quality repair video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.